The railroad network in India is the most appreciated legacy of English colonial rule. With more than 100,000 kilometers of tracks, India has the largest network in Asia and one of the largest in the world. Although comfort has not evolved much since the 19th century, and the country still holds the record for railway accidents, nothing prevents millions of people from swarming the platforms every day. It is a means of transportation that allows them to cross the country from one extreme to the other for but a handful of rupees. For Steve McCurry, one means of transportation is as good as any other. For this restless nomad, who spends an average of 10 months a year traveling and rarely stays more than a week in any given place, constant movement is a vital source of nourishment.
I like to be surprised. I like to sort of be horrified or delighted or shocked or somehow I like to be constantly reminded that I'm alive and that I don't really get tired of traveling. In fact, I think I draw a certain energy from traveling around, meeting new people, seeing new things, actually going to places and seeing old friends. So just the contrary from kind of getting tired from traveling, I actually thrive on the excitement and the movement and the process of getting from one point to the next.
After several years of running from routine and after recording human stories, the photographer claims his right as a world citizen. For him, the simple fact of crossing borders may help to make them disappear.
I think if there's one thing I've learned in traveling around the world for the past 25 years is, whether you're in India or New York or Beijing or Damascus, people are pretty much the same. I mean, basically motivated by the same thing. Everybody wants, dignity and respect. Everybody wants the best for their family and, education and healthcare. So if there's one thing I think I've learned in this life is that we're all pretty much the same. We all may speak different languages, maybe we have different customs, but fundamentally, we're pretty much the same.
The small town of Pushkar lies on the western slope of the Aravalli Mountains, not far away from the Pakistani border. Located amidst the sand desert, Pushkar, with its blue water lake, is an oasis where peace and quiet can be enjoyed 11 months a year. Its streets flood with pilgrims from all across India the last week of November to participate in the Mela. This is a religious ceremony devoted to Brahma, the foremost god of the Indian Trinity and a symbol for creativity.
Holy Lake, this is the world of one temple, Brahma, and this is a Brahma place, Pushkar. And the Vishnu place, Bodh Gaya, and Shiva place, Varanasi. So, before in the first time, before was no Brahma place in the old world, only ocean.
According to legend, the world was created in Pushkar when Brahma, who deserved a place in paradise after having meditated for hundreds of years, dropped a lotus flower from the clouds. The Pushkar lake rose from the site where the flower had fallen, and the world grew around it. Nowadays, this sacred lake is surrounded by 500 temples devoted to the god of creation. After a purifying bath, pilgrims may reach Shanti, peace of the heart. The Und Mela, celebrated at the same time as the Mela, takes place in the dunes surrounding the holy city and consists of a livestock fair that attracts more than 200,000 sellers and buyers of camels. The day's business comes to an end when the merchants argue about the last sales. Steve McCurry takes advantage of this brief instant, when the light waxes before it grows into shadows, to go out in search of a look that may have something to tell. Ruga comes from the Nagura Valley, about a 20-day ride from Pushkar. He explains how the trip could be made in 14 days, but he refuses to drive his camels to exhaustion. He wants them strong and impeccable to lure the best buyers. It has been a good year for Ruga. He hasn't had time to wash in the purifying waters of the lake a kilometer away, but he is already at peace.
This year Ganesha, the god of prosperity, has been good to me. He's given me good camels and sent good buyers. I just got here 2 days ago, and I've sold the 7 camels I raised during the year.
With the revenue of the sales, Ruga will buy a couple of females to renew his herd and have enough to cover his wife and 5 children's needs during the next 12 months.
Today's a happy day for me. I'm at peace and have invited all the camel herdsmen that camp around to celebrate it with me.
Fellow guests, prepare a spicy sauce made of green tomatoes and spices to go with traditional Indian bread, chapati. Meanwhile, those who will sleep outside to guard their camels gather firewood to help withstand the low nighttime temperatures of the desert. The light is waning, and once again, Steve confronts an everyday frustration. There is not enough light to shoot his camera without a flash, an unnatural accessory that he refuses to use. He will have to wait until this new wave of darkness passes, until the next dawn, to keep feeding his films with new experiences. From the top of the Bodhnath Stupa in Nepal, the eyes of the Buddha contemplate